Welcome back inside the bunker. It is Thursday, September 25th. As always, I'm Kevin Bunk coming to you weekdays for BTO Media, joined by Michael MERLO once again, and we're going to be breaking down Week 4 in the NFL, our pick'em. You can always find my outright winners on the BTO Media Instagram and Beat the Odds Gambling on Instagram, but we're also going to do a little bit of MLB drama, discuss what's been going on since Tuesday at the end of this show, but we'll start with the pick'em, Mike, Week 3 in the books. You just hit Beat the Odds Gambling. That'll be up this afternoon, so check that out. But got to be feeling pretty good for a good Week 4 slate.
I am very excited for this Week 4 slate. It looks like a great slate of games. I'm very excited for the game in Ireland, correct? In Dublin, Ireland. The Vikings and the Steelers, 9:30, so you get a full day of football. And there's really good games in every window this week, so super pumped.
And we start tonight with a game that I'm very excited for, Seattle, Arizona. I've been texting you my Seattle hype throughout the week. Crazy. I'm going to pick them to win. That's no surprise to anybody who's listened to me talk about them this year, but I like the Seahawks in this game. The defense looks awesome. Darnold looked great this past week, and I'd be surprised if Arizona, even though they're the home team, was able to put up points against the Seattle defense.
Yeah, the one thing that scares me is I think a lot of people are on the Seattle team. I'll take them too. The secondary for Arizona is banged up, and Kyler Murray in his career just hasn't played well against the Seahawks in general. They've had his number, so I will take Seattle as well. Darnold has looked better the last couple of weeks, starting to look a little bit more comfortable. They're not, he's not stretching the field. They're making things easy for him, taking what's in front of him, and the connection that he has with JSN right now looks legit, so I will take the Seahawks as well tonight.
We didn't discuss it on the recap, but when do we have the tough conversation about Marvin Harrison, who I think can be a really good receiver, and I think is actually a really good receiver, but maybe just an entirely wrong fit in Arizona and a place where it does not feel like it was destined to work out.
It doesn't help when you have two other receivers in the first round from the same school that looked better than him, not only in his rookie year. I wouldn't say Thomas looks better than him now, but you have Neighbors, you have Thomas with the years that they had. It's really tough for it's a tough pill to swallow for Arizona. So yeah, I don't know when we have that conversation of, well, is he a bust yet? But we may get there if the first half of this season doesn't go well.
I think I can confidently say he was the wrong pick at this point, because whether that's Neighbors or Joe Alt, the two picks after Harrison may go down as the two best players in that draft class.
Right. If they had a redo, 100% it would be Neighbors right now or Alt. But if you're sticking with receiver, it would be Malik Neighbors, no question. And I mean, listen, it's not like you don't have, like, it's a good situation. It's not a great situation. It's not a bad situation, though. You have a good quarterback. The offensive line's decent. You've had a running game. Like, they should be able to get him the football, and they can't.
They can't. And we see him with the big drop last week. I mean, that's a 30-yard drop that he has wide open. So he's got some stuff to work out. They have some stuff to work out, too. We'll see how he looks tonight against the great Seattle defense. But I think that the Seahawks get the win and move to 3-1. Arizona right now also 2-1. So it's a good Thursday night game. Best primetime game, I think, of the week. And then we have Minnesota-Pittsburgh. I guess this is also a primetime game Sunday morning in Dublin. You know I'm not going to go against my Vikings here.
I love the Vikings in this game. I absolutely do. The neutral site games, the favorites win at almost an alarming rate. You're on a neutral field. I said this before. You're on this neutral field. So, obviously, there's no home field advantage. Nothing matters. It's literally just who is better that day. And when you look at this game, Kevin, the quarterback, okay, it's going to be Rodgers. But offensive line, weapons, running back, you can even argue coaching staff. You maybe even be able to argue defense. All is on the side of the Minnesota Vikings. I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings by a touchdown. I think Carson Wentz is a big game. They didn't have to do much with Wentz last week. They didn't open the playbook up. They didn't show anybody anything.
It was a perfect first game for Wentz as far as what he needed to do went. He just didn't have to do too much. It was a perfect situation for him to be in. They killed Cincinnati. I don't like Pittsburgh at all. I thought that they could very easily be 0-3 right now. And Minnesota is going to be able to take advantage of it. And I think the coaching difference is a huge difference in this game. I think this is a massively lopsided difference coaching, and an interesting wrinkle to this game that I don't think has any personal agenda in it, but Mike Tomlin let Brian Flores leave, and the Steelers defense has not looked good this year. I understand Tomlin is the defensive guy in Pittsburgh, so Flores would not have the same role he has in Minnesota. But being able to pair Flores and O'Connell together has made this one of the 4 or 5 best coaching staffs in all of football the last 2 seasons. So I think the coaching's lopsided in this game. I think they take advantage of the Steelers' weaknesses, which are all over. And I actually don't think this game is very close.
How about this? Rodgers last year against Brian Flores, his only game against a Brian Flores-led defense, you remember vividly.
Yep.
It was the 3-interception game, I think, in London against the Vikings last year. So, you have history there now, too. I love this. Love this game.
Washington at Atlanta this week. Still no confirmation on Jaden Daniels, whether he's going to play or not. But I'll be honest with you, regardless of who's back there for the Commanders, I'm taking them to win this game.
Yeah, me and you are on opposite sides here. I think Atlanta is starting to feel some heat. They're 1-2. You had the ugly win against Minnesota, which felt like a bigger game at the time than it does now. But to get blown out, embarrassed by your division opponent last week, I think they're going to come back home. I think they're going to score points. And when you look at the other side with the Washington, you're going to have a quarterback where you're either questioning whether he's going to play or he's going to be a little banged up in playing. Terry McLaurin's a questionable this week. Give me the Falcons this week as home underdogs. I think they're going to win the game.
The reason I take Washington here, and I totally understand your logic, I can completely see Atlanta winning this game at home, but the reason I'm taking Washington is I think that this Atlanta coaching staff does feel that pressure, and I don't think it's the right group to right the ship here after a 30-0 blowout. I'm really worried about Penix bouncing back in this game. You wonder if the film is out on him, if the book is out on how to shut down this offense. Carolina had their way with Atlanta last week, and the Washington defense is better. So I think Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury get this job done. This is a coaching pick for me versus an actual game pick. I think Washington will do enough, even if McLaurin and Daniels are out. But this is going to be a good game. This should be a close one regardless. And then we go to one that should be the furthest margin of difference, the most lopsided game in NFL history. Buffalo hosts the Saints this week. Obviously going to be one of my 2 locks of the week. Bills win at home.
Yeah, I don't really have much here. I mean, when you look at that game last week between the Saints and the Seahawks, I mean, it looked like, a high school team against a JV team, the varsity team versus a JV team. I mean, that's how bad it was. So I don't have much here. The Bills, they have taken care of everybody over the past year. I feel like there really haven't been many games, obviously with closer spreads and matchups as well, but games that you feel like they should win. They haven't really lost those games, I think, in a year now. They just feel like that dominant team, and this is going to be, it's going to be Josh Allen's out by the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a total blowout game. And then the next one's going to be my second lock of the week. Reminder for everybody, I'm 6-0 on locks this year. I do 2 a week on the outright winners. Very good start to the season for the locks. My other lock is Detroit at home versus Cleveland. I can't see Cleveland grabbing 2 in a row against really good teams in the NFC. I think Detroit, after what we saw Monday night, comes out, another statement game, puts up enough points to win. And I think their defense has actually surprised me a lot this year with how able they are when it comes to getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, they were very impressive the other night. I can't believe it. And when we talk about Baltimore, I want to bring up an interesting point to you, but their offensive line, Detroit looked really good. The one thing that scares me about this game, and I'm not saying the game's going to be in question, but Detroit was able to push around that defensive front of the Baltimore Ravens last week. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Mason Graham, the rookie from Michigan, has looked great so far in his first few games here. Obviously, you have Myles Garrett on that defensive line. You have good linebackers, a good front seven. They're not going to be able to push the Browns around like they were able to do to the Ravens. And remember this, the Browns did a good job against Derrick Henry when they played the Ravens. They only gave up 23 yards, I think it was, in that game, even though they got blown out. And somehow they were able to shut down the running back, but couldn't do anything in the passing defense. But either way, I do think that this is going to be a little bit more difficult for the Lions to run the football against this team than it was against the Ravens.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Ravens' run defense looks horrible early in the season. It looks like a disaster, their front seven, which is a big surprise. Roquan Smith has not been the same player we've seen in past years. You actually look at Ravens fans want to dump him, but we'll talk about the Ravens in a little bit. They have a huge game this weekend. But the Lions, I'd be shocked if they lost. I'd really be more surprised because Cleveland won 2 in a row against Green Bay and Detroit. That would just stun me. So I think Detroit's a nice lock this week.
Yeah, no, 100%.
After a win. So those are my 2 locks of the week. Buffalo hosting New Orleans, Detroit hosting Cleveland. You can get everything else on the outright winners on Instagram. The ugliest game of the entire week, and there are a few, but Tennessee at Houston is disgusting this week. I will not watch it. I will watch a couple highlights. That's it. I'll check the box score, but I am not going to be tuned into this game. With that being said, give me Houston to get their first win of the year.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna get the win. It's just I can't believe, like, looking at the spread, that Houston is favored by 7 against anybody right now. That's what's shocking to me, and I guess that just tells you how bad Tennessee has been. Last week was awful, but the first 2 weeks I didn't really feel like Tennessee was that bad. Either way, yeah, I would concur with that. They're going to win this football game, but the Tennessee defense hasn't been awful. Yes, Houston's defense has been good, and they will probably create turnovers against Cam Ward through his first pick last week in the NFL against the Indianapolis Colts. They'll turn him over, but I don't really have a big feel in this game at all.
I'm going to give you a little storyline here that nobody's talking about, and nobody really should be talking about. But did you see this week that Jarvis Brownlee Jr., the corner, got traded to the Jets?
Yes.
So Tennessee trades this guy who was a 5th-round pick last year, had a great rookie year, real diamond in the rough rookie year, started every game, started their first 2 games this season, and then was in a walking boot, listed week to week, and they trade him. So Titans fans are outraged right away. Completely outraged. Why are we trading this guy for a day 3 pick swap? They get a 6th-round pick back for a 5th-round pick that they hit on last year. And I'm listening to SiriusXM NFL radio, and I'm not listening because I want to hear about this trade. I don't care about this trade. It did not move any needle for me. But the host, it was at night, I forget who was hosting, I'd never heard the show before, says the problem with Brownlee for Tennessee is, this is the quote he got. He's an incredibly coachable player with great skill, but he's only coachable if he respects the coach. And he has no respect for any of the coaches in Tennessee. And he's not the only one in the room that feels that way, but he's the one that shows it. That's a huge issue with the Titans this year, because we've been talking about Brian Callahan for the last 2 weeks. That's a massive, massive issue.
That's a massive issue. And then you go to a situation where, all right, I guess he feels great about what Aaron Glenn has. And if that is the case, if he is a coachable player with some talent, it's a big get for the Jets. For the Titans, man, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. You've already started to hear some rumors. This isn't this GM's head coach, right? The old GM hired this guy, new GM. So it's a mess over there. And this guy's Callahan's probably going to be gone at the end of this year.
Complete mess. And we have now Patriots hosting the Panthers. This was a really tough game to pick, Mike. I thought this was a very difficult game. I'm going to take New England at home, especially after the high of the Carolina win. But I could totally see the Panthers going in here and handling business.
Yeah, I can. I really like New England in this game. I think New England basically handed the Steelers a win on Sunday. All those turnovers in the red zone, it did not help their case whatsoever. The Steelers, again, bailed out. But the Patriots should have won that game. Drake May had some good moments in that one. And you're talking about a Panther team that played a near perfect game against a division opponent, now going on the road to New England. I don't like this at all for them. I'm not going to put any confidence, any wealth into this Carolina Panther team after that blowout win. I'll take the Patriots off of the big, the upsetting loss, I would say.
And I've criticized Mike Vrabel this year. I've shared my sentiments about, I don't know how great he is. Thought he was a little overrated in the hiring process. That being said, he's a good coach. Yeah. And I'd be stunned if New England handed a game to 2 average or worse teams at home in back-to-back weeks under Mike Vrabel. I can't see it happening. I think this is the Travion Henderson week, too, where he finally gets the start. I think you see some of Gibson. I think you see a little bit of Stevenson, but I thought Stevenson lost a lot of snaps last week with the fumbles.
What about Christian Gonzalez? I had read was, I don't know if he's going to be back this week, but close to being back which is a big get for them in their secondary.
And if he's back, that's a massive needle mover for the Pats, because if you've watched their corners without him, even Carlton Davis, because he has to step up into that top role now, it's been a disaster. Yeah. It's been a total mess. So they need to get Gonzalez back. You need to be able to move Davis back to the 2 and be able to just run the defense that you expected. This thing with their defensive coordinator is really weird too, how he had the health issue and he's just like done working there, I guess.
The Patriots defensive coordinator?
Yeah, so after the first 2 weeks, there were some issues in the offseason. He collapsed at a OTA practice, and he's got some health issues. And so, wishing him the best. But in a very cryptic press conference answer, Mike Vrabel said after week 2, it was like, he's not going to be with us moving forward. Or it was after week 1. He said he's not going to be with us moving forward. He has some stuff outside of football that he has to prioritize. And I didn't know what that meant first, but now the beat reporters have speculated he has health issues that he has to focus on. He can't coach football, so they don't have a defensive coordinator the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
I guess it's just Vrabel.
Yeah.
Or whoever the linebackers coach or whoever was is calling the defense. But weird situation. New England's had an odd start to the year. That being said, I think they get the win. I think they moved to 2-2.
Should call Bill. See if Bill wants to
call up Bill. He would definitely be tempted right now with how things are going elsewhere. Chargers at Giants. This is an exciting game for me. I'm going to be locked into this because of Dart. I'm taking the Chargers to win, of course. I think they look like maybe the best team in football right now. They look that great to start the year. They have a lot of quality wins already, 2 quality wins. But I think that they get the win on the road. Giants give you some excitement this week, though, with Jackson Dart.
This is going to be a big, big win for the Chargers. I cannot see the Giants doing anything offensively, even with Dart in this game. I think that secondary is going to do a great job. You look at the job Spagnuolo and that defense did last week against those like there was no creativity on the Giants side, sure, but the Giants just had nothing going on last week. I can't see how it's any different this week against Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh, excuse me. So I'd take the Chargers big. I'm excited to watch Dart for the rest of the year, 100%. I just don't think this is going to be a fun one on Sunday.
No, I don't think so either. Would you have started Dart? We haven't really spoken about it. Would you have started Dart this week?
Yeah, I think at this point, when you watch, like if you watch the tape, like Dable does, and Dable comes out of it saying, Russ stinks and Jackson Dart gives me the best chance to win. How do you not go to him? So I don't think the opponent necessarily matters as much as I thought it did earlier or before the year started.
And even if he started him against the Saints next week, which is what a lot of fans wanted, the next 3-4 weeks are a complete gauntlet anyways. So
but the big thing was, too, the second start would have been a Thursday night in Philadelphia. So now at least his third start is going to be in Philadelphia.
And his second start now, you're going to get a real chance to win, be favored, and perform against the Saints in week 5. So I don't mind it. Russ stinks. The week 2 game was a little fluky, and it's over with Russ. I would move him, and I'd get Jameis. I'd keep Jameis to be the backup. But I said that on Sunday, so
yeah.
Trade
him to the Bengals.
Trade to the Bengals. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay, awesome game. 2 of the top teams in the NFC, 2 of the top 4 teams for sure. And they're in Tampa. I think Mike Evans is going to be out for this one. Sounds like Godwin's going to be back. Where are you at with this one?
Yeah, I like Philadelphia. This has been a house of horrors for them the last few years. I think they're 0-3 in their last 3 games in Tampa Bay, including last season. They were here as well. I think Tampa Bay, when you look at their wins this year, they're all last-second victories in the fourth quarter. I don't see this happening. They're facing the better roster. They're going to be down a couple of guys. And Baker Mayfield, listen, I think he is on the injury report, but he's banged up. He's going to be playing, but he's going to be banged up with the shots that he's taken so far this year. So give me Philadelphia by a touchdown. It's going to be a big win for them. They get finally the monkey off their back, and they get a big win in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. I think that the Eagles get this win. I think it's a gutsy game. Interested if Tampa Bay can pull off another one of these final 60-second, 90-second comebacks. They've done it 3 times already this year where they're losing in the final minute of a game and they win. And it'll be interesting to see if they actually can pull it off against Philadelphia, who I still think looks like the best team in the league. The Colts and Rams have a fascinating matchup. I do think this is going to be the first loss of the year for the Colts. Can't see them being able to push around either front for the Rams. So I think that LA wins this game up front. And I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to do too much on the road here against this Rams defense.
This would be the game that pisses me off if Jones is able to play well and win.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the game right here. I completely agree up front, especially on that defensive line for the Rams. I understand that the Colts have a good offensive line, but they are going to get pressure. The Rams better get pressure in this game on Daniel Jones and make him a little bit uncomfortable. And also the running game, with Jonathan Taylor, as great as he's been, he looks like that top guy again. We mentioned that on Sunday, on the Sunday recap. They should do a good job against this team. When you have a Rams team, which is so well coached, and they have a bunch of veterans mixed with young guys, they're pissed off about that loss, up 26-7, having the field goal blocked twice. That would have basically won them the football game in Philadelphia, which was a big revenge game for them too, after losing to them twice last season. They got to be pissed. The Rams come in here and they defend their home turf and get a huge win.
And we've mentioned it together. We agree on this. The Rams look like the third or fourth best team in the league.
Yes.
Even though they lost last week, you're high on their ability to play with the top teams. And I just think the Colts are below that tier of real elite Super Bowl contenders.
But I don't feel any differently than I did about them, like from this week to next week. Like if they lose this week, I don't feel any differently about how I felt after they beat the Titans. Because,
yeah, I agree.
Like this is a big game. This is easily their best opponent of the year.
Unless you lose 45-3.
Yeah.
Then it's a problem. But if this is a 2-touchdown game on the road, 28-14, I don't feel worse about the Colts.
Right.
It's just we're not expecting the Colts to be contenders right now.
No. 100%.
Jacksonville at San Fran. I think San Fran keeps it rolling here with another win, but Jacksonville's been keeping games close. It'll be a good one. I like the Niners.
Is this going to be? We don't know if it's going to be Purdy or not yet.
I think it's going to be Jones.
It's going to be Mac Jones.
Guess.
Okay, because I know he practiced yesterday, Purdy. So either way, I'll take the Jags. As disgusting as that is, that they somehow figure this out offensively here. Nick Bosa, obviously, he's out for the year. I had seen their win rate on rushing defense, their first or second any year he plays. And when he does not play, they are towards the bottom half of the league in terms of stopping the run. Nick Bosa out for the year. It's a massive loss. I will take the Jags in a close one. They'll make the division a little interesting here now. Getting that second win, or getting that third, would it be that third win? Their third win.
Third win. 2-1.
And tie the Indianapolis Colts there in the division.
As of 19 minutes ago, Brock Purdy is on a good track to play on Sunday. So
okay, maybe I'm going to change that then.
I can see Jacksonville winning this game. I like this solid defense, though. I think that they hold it down, and I think the Jags. Like Houston is not a quality win at all. Carolina is not a quality win at all. San Fran is a different level than what they've played.
How good is this team? It's very interesting that this comes up now because yesterday you texted me and you said, I think Seattle's the best team in the division. And
which I'll retract with the Rams.
Right. And you were like, oh, I forgot about the Rams, which is fair. Fine. The Rams are definitely the best team. But if you told me, even though Seattle lost head-to-head in Seattle to the 49ers this year, if you told me you believe Seattle's better than them, I wouldn't disagree with you. I don't feel strongly at all about the San Francisco team. So I don't know how big of a win this is. I mean, like on paper, yes, you're on the road against a 3-0 team in San Francisco, but how good are they actually? This is going to be one of those fake teams with an easy schedule that, yes, with Mac Jones, a backup quarterback, played well, won a couple of games. I don't trust this team whatsoever. I really don't.
I don't trust them yet, but I do think if we're sitting here 10 weeks from now and Kittle's healthy, Ayuk's healthy, Pearsall's healthy, and McCaffrey's healthy with Purdy, then it's a real legit contender in the NFC. I don't think that right now they're this great team, but I still think if you can beat this defense on the road, it's a quality victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pearsall's been very good. Very
Pearsall's been really good. He does everything Shanahan could possibly ask out of a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You can see why they were not hesitant to let go of Debo because Pearsall looks better for what they need right now.
100%.
Baltimore at Kansas City on paper. That's your game of the week. I'm not going to hesitate in taking the Ravens here.
I got a problem. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I'm getting better defense. I'm getting the better defense at home, and I'm getting a team. Kevin, I'm watching this Raven team the other night, and Lamar Jackson specifically. There were multiple times. I should have wrote it down exactly. Multiple times on a 3rd and long or a 3rd and long where they need a few yards to be able to go for it, right? Because if it's going to be 4th and 11, you can't go for it. But if it's 4th and 6, 4th and 5, okay, you could consider it. And there were 3 different times in that second half when Lamar Jackson got sacked where they were on 3rd down and he's trying to do too much and he's not making the big plays. Situationally, they're not great. And Troy Aikman brought this up, and it is so true. The defense is already weak. But when this team scores, it's usually quick. They're usually quick scores. They're not these long drives. So you already have a defense that's compromised because of injury, and now you're not really letting this defense sit down on the bench and rest because your scoring drives are so quick. I think the Chiefs take advantage of this defense and the way they've played, and they're going to get back on track offensively a little bit, start to get more comfortable. The Chiefs win a 23-20 game here. Close, low scoring.
The thing that turns me off with Kansas City, first of all, is how bad they've looked offensively. They've looked awful on the offensive side of the ball. And there is something off with Patrick Mahomes right now. He has not looked like his usual self. I'm not going to sit here and do this act that everyone else is doing, that he's not a top 5 quarterback anymore in the regular season, that he's not an elite producer in the regular season. I'm not going to do that spiel, and it's just a fake behavior. But he's missing a lot of throws right now, and he has not played great. So I'm really concerned about his ability to go blow for blow with Lamar, who's definitely flawed, but has been putting up points. I think that Baltimore wins this game because I think they're still going to put up 28 points in this one, and I don't think Kansas City can do it.
Interesting. I think I don't know. I can't see them scoring like that on this defense.
What's going to be crazy? What is crazy about this game is the loser is 1-3.
Yes,
and they are going to be Monday's story. The 1-3 team that comes out of this game.
And it's like, which team can you see being 1-3? With the way the Chiefs have played, you'd say, oh, it's the Chiefs. They haven't played that well. But I don't know. I look at this Raven team and their inability to close games and how bad they've been situationally. I think that maybe it is just supposed to be the Ravens that are 1-3. Because as good as the offensive stats look, their defense has been bad and they're not doing the little things right.
No, they're not. And Baltimore.
How could you feel good about them as a Super Bowl team? How could you feel good about this team? As they can't. You in a big game, no matter what, and I would consider Monday night a big game. You can't trust them to win those games.
There's a big game issue with Harbaugh right now too. And I hate to blame Lamar because I really am a Lamar guy, so I'm not going to blame him. But he has not been great in these big games. Mark Andrews has not been great in these big games. Finally, was on Monday night. But the Buffalo game, twice in a row, he killed them in their last 2 games against Buffalo, the playoff game in week 1. Derrick Henry with the late fumbles in both of these games this year, really bad. And their defense has been awful. But I think that the problem with Harbaugh right now is he doesn't feel like he has conviction in his decision-making late in these games, whereas Dan Campbell did not think twice about going for it on 4th down. And I have ripped that mindset so many times, and I will continue to in the future, because when it backfires, it costs you big time. But I think it's important to have conviction in what you're doing, and I think Harbaugh second guesses a lot in these games. That Buffalo game, 4th and 3 with whatever it was, 2.5 minutes left or a minute and a half left, and you're at your own 40-yard line, there's no way I'm giving Josh Allen the ball back on a punt. I'm risking it going for it on 4th down. And he doesn't do that stuff. And I think he hurts them in a lot of these big games, as much as I love John Harbaugh.
And he used to be that guy. He was that guy. He was one of the first guys that got aggressive with going for it when it didn't feel comfortable, which is very interesting. 100%. I completely agree with you with Harbaugh. It's getting weird. It's getting weird over there in Baltimore.
Ravens fans want him fired. I think it's I've said this to you.
Yeah.
Ravens fans want him fired. Steelers fans want Tomlin fired. And I mean, they're 2 of the 7 best coaches in the league. Absolutely. I think they're two of the best 5.
We'd like a coach to stay for at least 7 years and get us to the playoffs once or twice.
I'd like to see a coach get a 5th season.
Yeah.
Forget 7, but bad. Sunday Night Football, Packers, Cowboys, the Micah Parsons game. I'm going to take Dallas. I think that they're going to win this game at home. I think they surprise Green Bay. I hate the Dallas defense, so I think it's a disgusting pick. But they're going to be my big underdog this week. That Green Bay drops 2 in a row, and Dallas finds a way to win this game without CeeDee Lamb, and they just gut one out at home.
Yeah, the no CD for me is what crushes you here. I'll take Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins the game by a touchdown. I think this spread's going to sit around 6.5, 7. So we'll see if Dallas is able to cover it. But Jordan Love's going to be able to move the football up and down the field. The run defense actually has been good for Dallas, so I don't know how much of an impact Josh Jacobs makes this week, but I think they'll be able to throw the football, even with these receivers, which at times are sketchy. And I'll take the Packers, but this is risky from you, man. With no CeeDee Lamb, this is tough because you got George Pickens fine, and now we're going to Jalen Tolbert and Turpin. I could never feel good about that.
No, I don't feel good about it, but I'm doing it. I'm
Okay.
picking it. And the only thing more disgusting than picking Dallas is actually watching Monday Night Football this week, where the Jets are in Miami, both teams 0-3. And
Can't wait.
I've never seen a matchup that more was on the line for 2 0-3 teams, because this feels like a must-win both ways for these coaches and these rosters.
I feel like it's more of a must-win, much more actually, for the Dolphins than it is the Jets. Again, I think we're in a different situation with the Jets with a first-year coach. Sure, those players are going to feel it. They're going to feel the heat if they lose this game. I understand that, but I think McDaniel could possibly be coaching for his job in this game. So give me I think the Dolphins are going to win the game by a field goal. I think that's what the spread is, a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jet defense hasn't been good. And I think finally this Dolphin team, which showed some life the last couple of weeks offensively, almost beat the Bills in Buffalo. They've had the extended, basically a bye here. What is that? 11 days to prepare for this game. I'll take the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins a lot.
I'm taking Miami. I don't even think that I have any part of my body or mind that thinks that the Jets are winning this football game. Jets defense has been so bad. Their quarterbacks are awful.
Wow.
And I just think that Miami's got so much on the line this week. I agree with you. But the local sentiment around Aaron Glenn and his crew is going to be nasty on Tuesday morning if the Jets lose this game.
Like, I get why. It's kind of unfortunate. Because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it.
I think you deserve a little bit of criticism if you start 0-4 and lose to Miami here.
You think so?
Yeah, Miami's really bad. Because the Jets, just as Pittsburgh could easily be 0-3, the Jets are one of the teams that could be sitting here at 2-1. And they have just gotten rolled through in the final minute of 2 games where they had a lead late against Pittsburgh and Tampa. Like, you never even thought for a second they were going to win those games.
Yeah.
So you lose to Miami here and you're 0-4, then it's a huge problem.
He's going to listen. I think either way, he's going to face some heat. Either way, it's going to get loud here.
Yeah, but if they win this game and then you have Carolina the week after, and in the upcoming weeks you have Cincinnati without Burrow, you have a couple teams that are weak, Dallas.
I don't think they win this game.
I don't think they win this game either.
I think Dolphins going to win this game by maybe a touchdown.
Bengals at Broncos. Denver is just got to be a lock in this game. I'm not picking them as a lock of the week, but Cincinnati looked so bad last week, and Denver needs a get-right game at 1-2.
I mean, desperately needs a get-right game. It's been really ugly. The fact they lost the last 2 games they did. And listen, like, Bo Nix isn't playing great. He's not playing good by any stretch of the imagination, but you're in these games as a team where you should be 3-0. You feel like you should be 3-0, and instead you're 1-2, and you're locked in the basement here with the rest of your division while the Chargers are sitting there at 3-0. So it's a big game for them to get right. And the Bengals, I mean, that was just an abysmal performance by Jake Browning and the rest of the team last week. They can't be that bad. They can't be much worse than that. This game is in Denver. This is the first home game since week 1. So yeah, Denver's going to win this game. I don't know how by how much, but they're going to win this football game, and it may feel like a get right for Bo Nix. Just Bo Nix. It's all it has to be is Bo Nix.
I think that this game is going to be actually a little bit of a Knicks take a back seat. We're just going to run the hell out of the ball against this Bengals defense, get RJ Harvey going a little bit for the first time this year. Dobbins has looked good for the second year in a row now, so I think that they just run it out. But either way, I do think this is a get right, feel good for Denver at home. If the game was at Cincinnati, I'd be a little bit worried about the Bengals offense maybe doing something. But against this Denver defense, who's been good this year, and this Denver offensive line, I cannot see the Bengals finding a way to win this.
No.
And then the Bengals move to 2-2 after the 2-0 start, and suddenly you start to feel really negative about their chances at salvaging until Burrow can potentially come back in week 13 or 14.
Yeah. There's no way that this team is going to be in a spot where Burrow comes back to try and save him. There's just no chance.
No.
The roster's not good. The roster's not good enough.
It'll probably be one of those, all right, we got 5 games left. We have to win all 5 to get to 9 wins and have a chance.
Yep.
And Burrow's got to be Superman, and it's just not going to happen.
And it's not. Is it even worth bringing him back at that point?
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to enter a really interesting time for the Bengals in January this year. Really interesting, pivotal moment.
Are we considering a trade?
Well, I think that if we're just talking about surface level trade stuff right now, there's no way Trey Hendrickson's on this team in 5 weeks.
Oh, no, 100%.
He's definitely gone.
Yeah.
And then in the offseason, there's just a lot of questions about, you have those 3 guys intact in Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. They're all signed. You're not worrying about any of these extensions anymore this offseason. How do you put an offensive line there? How do you put a defense there? And is this coach the right coach? Because if they don't start to get it right next year, then the trades start the year after.
Well, yes. And the other thing I would say is if Burrow is just so unhappy, when does he finally... He kind of feels like the Paul Skeens right now of baseball. It's like... And it's louder with Skeens because Skeens is eventually... You heard it last night if you watched the Met game and the broadcast with Buster Olney. Like, people are starting to gear up for when he finally asks out. But it's very similar organizations where they don't do much right, and they've always been cheap, and there's glaring issues. And the glaring issue here is the offensive line and the defense. And at what point does Joe Burrow get to a point where he says, I'm done here. I can't win. I'm not going to win here.
Yeah, it could potentially come. I just think it's early in the contract extension now to do it this offseason.
I would say so too.
But he's still 27, so if he gets to the point where he's 30 years old and the team still stinks, he's still taking a beating, then guys are going to ask out and guys are going to want to start moving around.
Yep, 100%.
All right, let's move to a little baseball drama before we wrap up. This has just been an incredible finish to this season. Mets got a win 2 nights ago. Since we did Tuesday's episode, so much has happened. Mets got the win. Reds have lost both games to Pittsburgh, which has been a miracle for Mets fans. Diamondbacks now are in a prime position to try and overtake that. I think the Mets have the tiebreaker over Arizona.
I don't think so. I don't think they do.
So?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
I'll double check it right now, but this week's just been nuts with Raleigh getting to 60. Judge hits 2 more home runs last night. The Tigers have completely collapsed. The Astros have collapsed. And the Red Sox have taken 2 from Toronto. A lot to unpack from these last few days.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know where you start. I mean, the Mets got a big-time break last night. The Dodgers almost collapsed once again against Arizona. They're able to win, and the Mets basically stay exactly where they were after a big win Tuesday night. We'll hold off on that. The Yankees have gotten some help from the Red Sox here, and they have a chance to really win this division, which is shocking. Going to be interesting with rainouts if the Yankees do get rained out. Bad weather here in New York today. Mm-hmm. Are they going to have to play this game on Monday? That's the big question.
Yeah, they'd have to play it if it mattered. The league would not make them play it.
Assuming it would.
So let me ask you a couple scenarios about that first. The Yankees get rained out today. They got to play the White Sox Monday. They're a half game behind Toronto. Or they're tied with whatever it is to get.
Yeah.
You need to win the division on Monday.
Yeah.
It's Fried day. You pitch Fried, right?
Yeah.
To win the division, because if you pitch Fried and lose to Chicago, you don't have them for the wild card round.
Yeah.
But you got to go for it, right?
No.
So
I could beat Chicago with throwing Will Warren out there.
No, I'm going for it with Fried.
I'm not.
I
can't do it. I can't do it. I got to make
Fried.
sure I have Fried for that wild card round game 3 or game 1 of the DS. I can't do that.
Yeah, I think I have to go for the division there. Just
no
avoid the Boston Toronto. I don't think there's a wrong answer either.
There's no guarantee he wins that game for you though.
There's not, but if you lose that game with Will Warren because he gives up 5 runs, I feel pretty stupid the next day. Fried versus Crochet on Tuesday, where you're probably losing Fried versus Crochet anyways.
Oh, I wouldn't start Fried against Crochet.
So you'd start Rodon against Crochet and then Fried on the next day?
Yes.
And then the Yankees moved Rodon up to today. If they get rained out, do you pitch Rodon tomorrow?
What is he on pace to pitch right now?
He's on pace to pitch game 2 of the wild card round.
I think game 1 because McLean's on pace to pitch game 1 of the wild card round.
Well, factoring in the day off for the Yankees, Fried would be Monday, but he'd be Tuesday. So Rodon or Fried could pitch Tuesday, Wednesday in the wild.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would pitch one of them. I'd go with one of them in that wild card round. I mean, for the division.
And I want to address the Springer comments from 2 nights ago.
Unbelievable. Wait, when does the DS start? The DS starts
Saturday.
Well,
okay. It depends on which side you're in. I think 2 of them start on Friday and 2 of them start Saturday. I think.
Okay, so if Fried or Rodon went Monday, they're not pitching game 1, pitch game 2, but they're not pitching game 1.
Probably not, no.
Okay. Yeah, Springer, please.
Unless Fried hypothetically pitches, 61 pitches through 4 innings or 58 pitches through 4 innings, and you're up 8-0, you pull him and he pitches Saturday.
Yeah.
Springer, this was nuts. This was crazy. The foul ball was fair.
100%.
Foul ball was fair. Bad call. Then he strikes out. Then he goes back to the bench yelling, you want the Yankees to win the division. We get it, blah, 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 whatever he said. This team's feeling it, man. They are feeling it right now.
They are. And for a team that led the division basically for half of the season now, it's incredible that the Yankees, I mean, they were 5 games back, 4 games back a week ago. The Blue Jays couldn't lose a game. And yeah, with a team with postseason experience like the Yankees, who won this division last year, I think Toronto's a little pissed right now, and they're pissed at themselves. And when the umpire makes that bad of a call, and it does go the other team's way, you're going to feel it. But it's embarrassing for Springer, embarrassing to even think that and say that while you're on the field. You want to say that in the clubhouse, whatever, where you're, whatever, talking with your teammates, with your buddies. But don't say that when there's a potential camera. Also, how does John Boy get access to that angle there?
Well, they have the partnership now with Major League Baseball.
That's what I thought it was.
They have every camera.
That's what I thought it was. Okay, because they've been getting a couple of interesting snapshots here, and thinking in my head, I'm like, maybe it's the new partnership with Major League Baseball. They have access to every camera. Look at us.
And it's possible that was shown on one of the 2 broadcasts, but they definitely have access to much more content than the fan has. And with Springer, like, you're talking about ethics and rigging baseball, George Springer. You were one of the faces of the largest cheating scandal in the sport of this century, and you're talking about the ethics and that the division's rigged? I mean, come on, man.
It was pathetic. It was really pathetic. I'd be so pissed if I was a Blue Jays fan seeing that from a guy that's been so good this year, too.
And then the Schneider comments yesterday, did you see about the sky falling?
What did he say?
So he says, everybody's acting like the effing sky is falling, but it's effing not. That means it is.
Yeah.
That totally means it is if your manager's got to go say that. And they have a bullpen game tonight against Brian Bayo.
The Yankees are going to win this division. The Yankees are going to win this division.
I'm not going to get there yet.
2 weeks ago.
I'm not there yet, but because I think that Toronto could sweep Tampa this weekend.
But Tampa could sweep Toronto.
I think Tampa's totally checked out. Like, they're not going to care at all about that.
I don't know. Did you see Pete Fairbanks sticking his tongue out at the Orioles dugout yesterday? I don't think they're checked out.
Well, that's 2 checked out teams playing each other, so you check back in.
Okay, but checked out versus checked in? No, but checked out versus checked out. You're checked in, and then checked in first checked in, you're checked in.
Sure.
Okay.
The Yankees, most importantly, have to win tonight if they play with Carlos Rodon pitching. You have to beat the White Sox, and you have to hope Toronto loses tonight, and then you control your destiny heading into the weekend. You can sweep Baltimore, who has their 3 best pitchers going, and Rodgers has been great. He's pitching tomorrow.
Right.
But you can sweep Baltimore and not have to worry about Toronto.
Control your own destiny.
But that's why I don't think they're getting in, because if the Yankees or Blue Jays, if it doesn't go that way tonight, if the Yankees win and the Blue Jays win, or if they both lose, or, the disaster for the Yankees is if they lose tonight and the Blue Jays win, then you're going into a final 3 games where if you win the same amount of games, if you both take 2 out of 3 this weekend, the Blue Jays win the division.
Yeah. They have the tiebreaker. How many games the tiebreaker by the way?
Not sure, but they have, the Yankees have to win 1 more game this year.
Right. Okay. How about the MVP here?
I think Riley's going to win it.
I think he's going to win it too. I wouldn't vote for him, but he's going to win it.
I liked what Passan said. I didn't send it to you, but Jeff Passan said it perfectly the other day. I'd vote for Aaron Judge, and I'd feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
Because I love both players. I made a video this morning about how upset I'm getting at the discourse on Twitter. Like, I can't even, on either side of it, go on Twitter, because it's either Yankee fans acting like all Riley's done this year is hit 60 balls and all of them happen to be home runs, or it's Mariners fans acting like Judge can't play any defense and that his season has been subpar offensively because his strikeout rate is high. Like, these are the 2 second and third best hitters in the sport, and they're just having historic years. If you probably didn't get to watch my video this morning because you did the gambling pod, and
I'd seen it.
Judge is going to be the first player since Mickey Mantle in 1956 to win the batting title with 50 home runs. The only other guy to do it was Jimmy Fox in 1953, I think. That's an insane season. Riley, obviously, is the most productive catcher and switch hitter ever in a single season, home run-wise. So that's ridiculous, too. Like, they're both MVP cases.
Average 1, on base 1, slugging 1, OPS 1, WAR 1, weighted on base average 1, WRC +1. That's all Aaron Judge. That's all his ranks. I don't think it's close. It has to be Aaron Judge. I think if you are just voting based on, the numbers and what these guys have done, it's Aaron Judge. If you're voting for storylines and to make headlines, you're voting for Cal, and that's not how we should do awards.
Yeah, I agree. And
that pains me to say it. I mean, I would like to see Big Dumper win it. I would.
I would too.
See Aaron Judge win another MVP.
But I am loving the Cal Raleigh season.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
you think he breaks the record?
No, but it's very, very interesting now. It's very interesting now. Would that upset you if he breaks the record?
It would be bittersweet because I think it's so cool that a catcher did it and that he did it.
Yeah.
But I want Judge to keep it.
Yeah, obviously. It's your guy.
Last night, as you know, I played my slow pitch softball debut.
You're basically
the pitching was tougher than what Colorado threw this guy last night.
Come on.
Colorado is throwing this guy batting practice, Mike. They won. This is like the Strahan record sack against Brett Favre. Have you seen that clip?
Yes.
Where Favre just dives?
Yep.
That was that last night. That was, let's get Riley.
You think they're grooving him? You think they're grooving
him? Yeah, that was awful.
Okay. Well, who they play this weekend? Let's see if they'll be grooving them this weekend.
Dodgers.
Do you think the Dodgers going to groove them?
No, because if the Dodgers win tonight, though, they secure the division, I think.
Okay.
So if they do, they might just roll out 3 rough pitching games. But Riley still has another game against Colorado tonight.
Maybe he just gets 2 more tonight.
I saw a bunch of stats comparing their 2 seasons also, and it was a really just objective, unbiased viewpoint on it. The guy literally just laid out the stats, didn't want to give an opinion.
Yeah.
And it was Judge's 2022 versus Riley's 2025. The difference in intentional walks is like 23.
Oh, Judge had more. Yeah.
Riley does not get intentionally walked because the average is so much lower.
Right, they're pitching to him. You can get him out.
Yeah, it's just it was. I think Judge's 22 regardless, and the RBIs left 20 more RBIs. Like I just think his 2022 is, and his OPS is going to be 200 points higher. I think the 2022 season will still be the most dominant I've seen production-wise from a power hitter, but yeah, Rally is
63.
incredible. 63. And it breaks the record for most by a non-steroid guy. And this year, you have the 450 home run guys. Ohtani, Schwarber, Judge, Rally, all of them hit 2 last night.
Maybe Soto hit 1 last night. Maybe Soto gets to 50 in the next few days.
What's he at right now?
He's not getting it. 43.
Oh, dude, come on. I was going to say, is he at like 40?
40-40, though. 40-40 is really in play for him.
It is. 40-40 is really in play for Soto. Who would have thought?
I would have.
He's got to be going for it this weekend, too.
Yeah, he wants it.
There's no way you got to be a little more aggressive on the base paths this weekend. There's no way you get laxed.
He wasn't on last night. So he faced Boyd anyway. Boyd's got a great move to first. So
good stuff going on. Do you think the Mets make the playoffs?
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know. That's the answer. I'd rather. I said this to my friend last night. I was like, I'd rather them not control their own destiny. Like, let the other teams lose. We'll see what happens. Like, you need a win. And Jonah Tong, it's bad. Yeah, the pitching is so bad right now. Peterson cannot make any starts. Jonah Tong, another really disappointing start. You're relying on a lot of these young kids to make big time starts late in the year, and that's tough to rely on. McLean goes tonight. I'm very excited to watch him, but how could you trust Tong in a postseason game? That's in the bullpen's beat up. It's just, I don't know, Kevin. I don't know. I really don't.
One of the craziest stats in baseball is the Mets have only made the playoffs back-to-back years twice.
Yeah. Considering
that, both of their World Series teams did not make the playoffs the following year. Yeah. And I think it was 99, 2000 or 2000, 2001 they made it, and 15, 16. And now, I mean, if this team falls short after going to the NLCS this year, that's just cursed.
You're never going back-to-back years. No, they got to do it. They got to break that. Come on.
So Arizona, I'm trying to figure out this tiebreaker.
Arizona has it because of the division record. Their division record's better.
Okay. That's why. All right. So, I mean, who do they play this weekend? Like San Diego or somebody?
I'm pretty sure it's San Diego.
And then the Reds play the Brewers.
Which could be big because the Phillies haven't really lost, and they're still competing for the 1 seed.
Diamondbacks, Padres. They have Gallen, who's had a better second half. They have Gallen, Rodriguez, who has not been good. And, I mean, their pitching's not good anyways. And Fott, who's not been good this year. Yikes, man. Sunday's going to be electric. Sunday, there's going to be a lot on the line around the whole league Sunday, which is why I'm really hoping the Yankees get this game in tonight, because I think it'll be such a disturbance to this season if they have to play Monday against Chicago, because it's probably going to matter if they have to play Monday, if they get rained out tonight. Tonight's game probably matters in this division and in the wild card.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be massive with the football. You got big college game Saturday, the baseball, everything. Got
Ryder Cup weekend. Yep.
I mean, I won't watch a second of it, but to you guys, enjoy. It's too much good stuff on this weekend for that.
Yeah, it's loaded weekend.
Like if it was a random weekend in the summer where there's not much going on, I would sit with my friends who enjoy the golf, and I'd say, okay, let's watch, and you explain it to me like I know nothing because I don't. But when you have this amount on, I mean, I can't pay attention to that crap. I mean,
I'll be watching Jackson Dart on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Oh, can't wait.
You think Detroit has officially lost this division here?
Yes. Yeah, but I think they're going to make the playoffs because of how bad Houston's bad. They're probably going to make the playoffs.
Houston was my trade deadline or All-Star break World Series pick.
Were they really?
Because I thought Alvarez was going to come back and just rake.
That hasn't happened. He's hurt again.
No, it hasn't.
He's hurt again.
You pick the World Series right now. Who would you go with?
I would go with the Mariners and the Phillies.
Okay.
I think the Mariners won the World Series.
Wow.
Mariners, Yankees in the ALCS.
We need that.
Phillies, Padres in the
baseball needs Mariners, Yankees in the championship series. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Big couple days coming up. We'll definitely be doing playoff predictions and stuff Monday morning or Tuesday morning. No doubt about that. We'll do the whole playoff show, recap the weekend, and that'll just be a full Burrows episode.
Yeah.
And then, we're right into the playoffs where we'll be back doing 2 shows a week for the postseason, as long as the Mets or Yankees are in.
The next time you see my face, I may be dead or alive.
You'll be popping champagne.
You think so?
Yeah, Mets are getting in. If the Mets don't get in, I'd be really surprised because none of the other teams are winning.
I know the other teams don't deserve it, but neither do the Mets. It's so depressing.
I said 84 wins gets you in. 82 might get you in.
It's so sad.
It's awful. All right, let's wrap it up. Enjoy the weekend. Awesome sports weekend. College football Saturday, Ryder Cup the whole way. Good NFL Sunday. Great NFL Monday Night Football this week. Unbelievable Monday Night Football. It would be a shame if the Yankees played for that. It would be a shame. Thanks for watching. You can listen always on Spotify. Check the description for timestamps on everything. And we will see you on the Sunday recap. Hardline comes out this weekend. But remember, Sunday live at 7:30 after all the football wraps up. We'll do our football show there. And
we'll also know the fate of our teams.
We'll know the fate of our teams. Hopefully I don't have a Monday night game to wait for. But
yeah.
We'll know the fate of our teams on Sunday night. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.